Thank you so much for staying tuned. We had a bit of a technical difficulty there, but we are back on and strong. If you're just joining us, a special good morning to you. We are live on NTN from the GIS studios. Welcome to our residents in St. Lucia and to St. Lucians living in the diaspora. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jessie Leonce, and in studio I have Carlton, and we have the COVID-19 response report for you this morning. On COVID-19, we got news that we just played some clips there. We got news that St. Lucia received 33 negative test results of the latest COVID-19 tests conducted. They all came back negative. I want us to go back to the Dr. Sharon Belmar George first clip, CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, for the persons who are just joining the broadcast.
On May 5th, 2020, the Ministry of Health and Wellness received the results of 33 tests conducted on persons who had presented at our facilities and community testing for COVID-19. All of these 33 samples tested negative for COVID-19. To date, a total of 475 tests have been conducted nationally, and of this, 18 persons have tested positive. Of these confirmed cases, 15 are fully recovered and have reintegrated into their communities, and 3 are active cases currently in hospital care. These 3 cases are all stable and are responding well to care from the clinical team.
And that was the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George, giving an update on the 33 tests conducted recently on individuals coming back negative for COVID-19. To date, 475 tests have been conducted. Of course, we already know that 18 tested positive on island. 15 have since recovered in full, and we have 3 active cases, and they are being treated. They are stable and responding well to the treatment, according to the CMO. The CMO also spoke about the respiratory clinics island-wide, and as we understand it, 12 of the 18 cases were identified by the respiratory clinics. So these individuals would have come into the respiratory clinic, announce and state their symptoms, and they would have been identified by the respiratory clinics for testing. So take a look at the second clip of the CMO speaking on the effectiveness of the respiratory clinics on island.
The 5 respiratory clinics which have been established island-wide allow for the early identification, testing, isolation and treatment of cases of COVID-19. Of the 18 confirmed cases which St. Lucia has recorded, 12 of them, that is 2/3, have been captured through our community respiratory clinics. This points to the utility of these clinics in efficiency of point of care in the national COVID-19 response.
So that again, the CMO Chief Medical Officer giving us an update overall of the 33 tests being recently conducted and coming back all negative. Plus for St. Lucia, we continue to test very feverishly. We have some clips coming up on the director of the Ezra Long Laboratory, giving us an update on the extent of testing in St. Lucia at the moment, and hopefully we can get more analysis on testing. What are the plans of the Ministry of Health and Wellness in a few on the testing facilities on island. Carlton?
Merci, cher Jessie. Moi, merci pour écouter nous. Encore, nous avons ici à Headquarters COVID, nous avons rapporté à ce développement avec information, là, il pour faire et puis COVID. Lawton Hord, chef médical officier, Dr. Belmar George. Et puis, tu as une information pour date côté nous et puis vers développement et puis ou kaitan pour date nous jani à peu près 475 tests qui j'ai fait qu'on a nous toujours regardé ici ces tests là qui continuer et puis en ça on savent récemment il voyait 33 ces tests ça aller et puis ça qui est vieux yo tout vieux est négatif qui c'est bonne nouvelle il y a les plus loin pour bail explanation là ni pour faire et puis ces cliniques là qui ont simple ici là il a dit en c'est 18 cas à nous 12 ans c'est cas ça c'était as un résultat du monde quand tout ces cliniques là qu'a dit pas senti et bien et yo identifié yo positive et puis et cas Covid là quand il a dit ça c'est un bon bagage ka ouais ka travail bagage qui mettait en place pour faire assurer nous combattre Covid là il y en a ces bagages là encourageant encore c'est les venir pour vous sous pas ka senti bien si c'est tout c'est sec si vous trouvez la fièvre rien qui pas normal yo quand encourager ou il dit allez trouver quoi tester parce que ou pas jamais savent. Merci Jesse.
Miku. We saw recently in the last 48 hours or so, we saw some videos online circulating of first responders, ambulance vehicles, as well as police vehicles seem to be rounded up in that constituency there. And we have a message, a statement from Dr. Gail Rigobert speaking in her capacity as the Miku North MP, issuing a statement on the first responders being seen in the community. Of course, there are a lot of rumors floating about the place, and this, just want to let you know that this continues to be, this is part of the continued effort to contain and manage COVID-19 in St. Lucia. But we have a statement from her, and we're going to go to it right now.
Bonjour tout le monde. Recent pronouncements by the Chief Medical Officer with respect to the latest COVID-19 positive case, I know would have created some anxiety and concern in our community. Activities over the last 48 hours in particular have piqued your interest, and many of you have asked what is going on. Please note that as a matter of course, we are doing everything we can to contain transmission and to ensure that our community is once again COVID-19 free. That therefore means we must adhere to and we must observe the protocols as advised by the Ministry of Health. We are, as far as is feasible, to remain at home, to stay at home. If you must go out, please wear a mask. Remember to wash your hands frequently. Use hand sanitizer. Keep your living areas very, very clean. I beg of you to practice social distancing when you go to the community shops, the post office, the credit union, or any other public place, as a matter of fact. We are doing this to save lives, to save your lives, to save our lives, the lives of our loved ones, and the lives of our neighbors. Please, let us do the right thing for the sake of us all. Have a blessed day.
That was Dr. Gail Rigobert speaking in her capacity there as a constituency rep for Miku North. Of course, we've been seeing some first responders in the community, more than usual for a particular area, and just a confirmation that it continues to be part of the COVID-19 response on island, and allaying concerns and also calling on persons to be vigilant at this time as we try to track down and manage COVID-19 as best as possible. We got word from the Acting Commissioner of Police yesterday that two individuals had been detained and quarantined because they entered the country illegally, and we continue to have, unfortunately so, the issue of illicit border entry. And we're going to be hearing from the Acting Commissioner later today. Of course, we will be hearing also from Ms. Ann Joseph from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to give us some statistics on law enforcement in the last 2 weeks or so, and hopefully we can get an update on that, as well as an update on the police work that has been conducted so far in Micoud North MP to bring some clarity to individuals with respect to the videos that have been circulating and flatten all of the rumors that have been spreading so far. We continue with this morning's programming with a word from Dr. Wayne Felicien, and he is the director at the Ezra Long Laboratory. And yesterday he was in studio along with a team from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, giving us an update on efforts to contain COVID-19, efforts to manage COVID-19 from a health perspective. And he was speaking on our local testing capacity. We go to his first clip.
With regards to testing, what we've done over the last 2 months is try to develop the on-island capacity to do that testing from a point of zero to been able to do tests with on-island. It's been a troubled road. I say trouble because we've not been able to meet the consistent levels that I think most clinicians, most nursing, and various clinics are hoping to have. And when I say consistent, I mean a turnaround time of consistent between 24 hours or even less, which is what we're ultimately trying to be able to do, where we can probably get a result for somebody sampled for over a period of 3 to 4 hours. But that road has been troubled due to supply chain issues that we've had. When I say supply chain, I mean there are certain products that we need to carry out the testing process, and they have been coming in not in the amounts that we've asked for. But luckily this week we were able to, on the weekend, we were able to receive a donation from the Cayman Island government of 5,000 test kits, which has further increased our testing kit supply to a number of about 13,000.
And Dr. Felicia also gave us word that the lab was also due to receive a more robust analyzer to do the testing and an automated extraction device later this week that would reduce the time frame for turning out results. I know a lot of persons have been speaking on, what is the time frame for churning out results that are that tests are being conducted for. So that word there from Dr. Felicia. Also, he stated that they are constantly receiving supplies from PAHO and the International Atomic Agency, and hopefully we can get, I believe he said, the extraction device from the International Atomic Agency later this week. He said at present testing is targeted primarily at symptomatic persons that are suspected to be COVID-19 cases or any other associated respiratory illnesses.
With the numbers we've been getting, and we've gotten, say, in March about 261, in April we got over 300, and the numbers are still coming up to probably about 30 something right now. For May, the numbers are not so high. We're not sure whether it's just that persons are not coming to the clinics, or is it that the illness burden in St. Lucia is that low for respiratory illnesses, which augurs well for us if that is the situation. And the results we've looked in, when you look at the percentage numbers, are significantly low for the positives compared to the number of persons that actually come to clinic with illnesses. So I don't think we're doing badly, but obviously we need to increase testing just to get a greater scope of what we're doing.
That was Dr. Wayne Felicia, the director from the Ezra Long Laboratory, speaking on NTN Live yesterday, giving us an update on our local testing capacity. Carlton?
Merci, Merci encore. Nous avons bienvenue. Merci pour vous qui écoutez nous à ce radio. Ou qui l'autre pays, ou qui suivent nous sur Internet. Quand la coutume, nous avons développement qui a fait ici. Là, il pour faire vermine COVID-19. La plus bonne ton hard honorable Gil Rigobert qui a représenté Micoud Nord. Là, il a dit ces gens en parwet là pour pas trois casser de koyo. Ça qui a fait là, ça y est, qui était qu'à point quoi. Ou te ka observer en chaimoun savent la tenir présence ambulance police et puis des fois moun hord ministre santé là il vient faire comme savent that qui yo pas ni pour trois casser quoi yo ça qui a fait c'est ça yo jamais été en place et puis like encourager moun pour continuer combattre vermin. Il dit tout le monde ni pour faire rôle yo ou ni pour faire ça ou ni pour faire ça il a parlé dia protocole laver la main sous ka quitter caillou avec l'ouvrier mettez masque là sous en public sous ka aller en boutique là sous ka aller en banque de pour quitter caille là suivre protocole masque là distance sociale là il dit tout ça qu'a joué un rôle et tout le monde ni pour faire ça ni pour faire assurer nous combattre vermin. Il était très concerné puis te vle moun faire savent that qui là yo ni bagay yo ka contrôler situation mais il vle moun poser cerveau qui ka dit yo pas trois casser koyo. Après ça nous turn hard yon laboratoire là ça c'est Ezra Long côté en chay test qu'a fait cette lycée ou turn hard monsieur Win Félicien c'est lui qui directeur là qu'a dit yo même qu'a fait ça yo pe mais yo ka espérer l'autre équipement yo même qu'a mettre bagay en place pour faire assurer moun hen résultat yo plus vite quoi développement positif bonne nouvelle qu'a sorti parce que qu'on nous t'a bien dit avant yo ka tester en compagnie ici en compagnie yo ka vrai l'autre pays quoi si ici a ka hen improvement et si yo ka hen plus équipement moi ka que ça une bonne nouvelle ben nous toutes merci tellement et continuez puis nous ici à headquarters COVID-19.
Absolutely. We are due for our first break. When we come back, we hear from representative from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. There is an e-symposium scheduled for later today. The theme is digital education now, the art of the possible, the topic for this evening's e-symposium. And this e-symposium is targeted to educators, administrators in general. And we hope that as many of you can participate in that online engagement. When we come back, we hear more from the representative from SALCC. Stay tuned.
We got this. Yeah. I feel make it. Ooh. We don't have no other choice but to be strong.
We're gonna make it.
What do you mean? What you mean?
I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and promise of a bright tomorrow.
And I want you to believe and trust.
I know God is watching over us, and I believe if we all come together now, everything will be alright. If we only press on,
Strengthen the bond and the ties among this generation.
unite and be one, the fight will be won.
Come on, Caribbean.
Keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor. Islands in the Caribbean sun.
It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
For the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the nightmares. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances.
Must come.
Don't stress about the fears and the nightmares.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. This is the St. Lucia COVID-19 Response Report, live from NTN at the GIS studios. If you're just joining us, my name is Jessie Leonce. I'm joined in studio by my colleague, Carlton Cyril, and we continue to bring you updates in terms of COVID-19, St. Lucia's management of it, as well as arrangements and accommodations being made around this pandemic situation that we're faced with. And speaking of such, we have someone from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, the Senior Communications Officer, Mrs. Natalie Fanis, and she's here to talk to us about admissions. But before we get to admissions, good day.
Hello, Jessie and Carlton.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Wonderful. I can imagine the immense work that is ongoing at Sir Arthur Lewis in terms of transitioning to online and so on.
Definitely. Before I get into that, let me just commend the two of you for the job that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And also thank you for the opportunities that we've had, because we were here only on Monday, and we're back here again. So definitely the e-symposium, which we had promoted on Monday, is on this afternoon from 4 p.m. It is so everything is being done on an online platform. However, again, we have the facilities of the NTN studios for us to do some of our addresses. So it's a combination of feature addresses as well as panel presentations on various aspects of this emergency upscaling into online or digital education. I'm ready to familiarize and to explore the issues surrounding that, because I think there's an understanding that it has not been easy. But it is a necessary transition, and fortunately Sir Arthur Lewis had begun that process, even before. I think the education sector generally were in making some, I don't want to call them baby steps, but there had been some significant headway that we had made. So we were already doing what we call a blended approach with our learning. So some courses, lecturers would do part online and part face-to-face. Face-to-face, you can't replace that interaction, and that's why we're suffering so much in this COVID environment, because we've lost that kind of interaction that we love so much. So therefore, we're in May, and normally by now we would have had applications for our incoming group up already. And we have been trying to work through that. So there had been program changes with the introduction of Dr. Nurses as principal. The college has been, for the last 2 or 3 years, taking a look at its programs. So even before our change, we were in a review process of all of our programs. We have a history of 35 years. So we're adult in this, in a sense, and there are a lot of things that we have done very well, but things change. We are in the 21st century, and therefore we wanted to review our programs to ensure that we were serving the citizenry in a way that would make them function in this global community. So we had started reviewing our programs, and for the upcoming year we had plans to make some really advanced changes, even in the naming of our programs. And the key thing that came about with the programs is that we added the aspect of sustainability, innovation and entrepreneurship to all of our programs. So I will get into that. What I really want to say, and I've been hearing from the counselors at the secondary schools about when is this going to happen. So we've finally been able to complete our online application, and applications to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College are now officially opened. So you can visit our website at www.salcc.edu.lc, and there you will get all the information about our programs. You can see the requirements and you could apply, and that goes straight into our database. Okay, so all secondary school students in 5th form who are looking for their next step in terms of tertiary education, and all other adults that we normally facilitate through our programs. I know our teachers have been asking questions about our programs as well, and when we are going to open applications. So applications are now open, and that will be done online.
Okay, and of course applications are being made. However, pending CXC results. We also have a situation at all levels, you know, of our education in terms of examinations and so on. So can you speak to the contingency that has been put in place by Sir Arthur Lewis Community College to deal with applications and process applications?
Right. So part of our mandate now is really future-proofing your career. So we have to look beyond all of the normal procedures that we had in place. So discussions have happened with the registrar of the college, with the Ministry of Education, and we are looking at using student transcripts. So through the Ministry of Education and the secondary school principals, we will get the transcripts for those students for 4th and 5th form, which would give us a good sense of the work that they had done in that CXC period. In addition, we also have an entrance exam in some core competency areas that would determine what levels that students could be placed at. And even at universities, that is used. Apart from your qualification, they would normally have some kind of competency exam, particularly in the areas of math and English. So in lieu of CXC being, the results being available by August, which is when it would normally be available for us to process applications, this is the method that we are going to use. In addition to that, we also have this year a Kickstart Summer Academy. Traditionally, we always provided students with an access point into the college if they did not meet our entry requirements, particularly in areas where there are some compulsory subjects depending on the discipline that you want to go into. So for example, in the engineering program, there are certain science subjects that you would need. In the business and hospitality fields, foreign language is compulsory. And we have found that there are times when students do not have the opportunity to do those subjects at the secondary schools for various reasons, whether it be lack of facilities or just how the subject combinations are done that they're not able to do it. So in the summer period, we facilitated that by allowing them to come to do a foreign language and a science, for them to be able to access those programs that they would want to get into. But we've taken it to another level this year in an academy. So apart from being able to do those things, because of the situation that we're in, we're also going to include digital literacy in there. So students will have an opportunity to understand now how to function and to learn online. And we know that is going on in this period, but you know it's a different level when you get to college. So we'll be providing students with that. And we'll also be including with that preparation for college life. That's a transition that has always been problematic for students coming from secondary school into the college. So that will also be included. And as well, we're looking to put in a creative component. We now offer digital media. So either in that area or in our performing arts area. So to really make it not just a very academic period for them, but there's an incorporation of something fun, and they get prepared to filter into our regular programs, both in terms of qualification and in terms of preparation.
Okay, so for the Kickstart Summer Academy, foreign languages, sciences, and you've added digital literacy. Digital literacy and preparation for college life. Preparation for college life.
So the foreign language or science, it would depend on the program that the student wants to get into. So our registration form would ask them to indicate that. So for example, if they indicate that they would need to get into an engineering program, then they would probably need to have the physics or the chemistry in order to matriculate. And if it is business, so it's not, you don't have to do both of them. It would probably be one of those hard academic courses, plus the digital literacy and the preparing for college life and something creative.
Okay. We have in studio Mrs. Natalie Fanis, a Senior Communications Officer of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, speaking to us on the very important admissions into the community college for this year. We hope that you could stay tuned for more information, but in the meantime, applications are now open for all of the departments of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. So we will provide you with more information, reiterate, re-emphasize in just a moment. We're due for a break. Stay tuned.
Because of how quickly the coronavirus spreads, each new case calls for increased public vigilance. Know what is happening, understand why, and comply. Think of the protocols as war tactics. Personal protection tactics. Keep 6 feet away from others. Avoid riding the bus, gathering on beaches, in bars and shops. Public protection tactics. Quarantine yourself if you feel fluish in case you have been exposed. Call 311 or a respiratory clinic for advice. Country tactics: partial lockdown. Supermarkets, small grocers, pharmacies, and ATMs are accessible before curfew. Total lockdown: everywhere stays closed 24/7 for a stipulated period. Team tactics: don't only follow the protocols, be a protocols police. Let's win this.
Together let us win this war. Say you shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Welcome back to this morning's COVID-19 response report. We are joined in studio by Mrs. Natalie Fanis. She is the Senior Communications Officer at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and we were just speaking about admissions and that applications are now open for persons looking to enter the community college, be enrolled in the community college this year. You can complete your online application at SALCC, SALCC.edu.lc. Mrs. Fanis, we continue with a conversation on some of the new programs. Can you tell us about some of the new offerings of the college?
Okay, definitely. So like I explained earlier, we've given it a new dimension with the sustainability and the innovation and the entrepreneurship. So in the area of hospitality, which is one that we are doing very well in, the program offerings, there will be tourism, hospitality, and sustainability. A smaller division that we've had, but is very, very important at this time to our society, is agriculture. And we've been offering certificate and associate degree programs in that division. So this year the program offering is agri-entrepreneurship and climate-smart agriculture. Another burgeoning area that is very, very important, particularly for our young people, is everything in the digital age. So one of the programs that we are developing, or we have developed, is the digital humanities, arts and creative industries. So we started offering a performing arts associate degree 2 years ago. So we actually have our first cohort completing that program. Currently, the only specialization was in theater, but as you know, the performing arts also include a lot more. So we are bringing that out. In terms of our health offerings, we have the health, wellness, and human performance. Let me put a plug in here for that department. We were supposed to launch our bachelor's in nursing. I'm saying we were supposed to, as in formally. However, that did not stop the department from beginning the program. So we have a cohort of 25 student nurses who have begun for the first time the bachelor's in nursing. Okay. Our associate degree is pretty robust. As you know, our nurses are exported everywhere, but the benchmark really for nursing now is a bachelor's. So the college has upgraded to meet that benchmark, and because it is so well known and so well regarded, it was not hard to make that transition. The improvement in the technology for nursing was there, so there are new simulation labs and upgrading of that kind of facility to ensure that the nurses get quality training. We also have technology, business innovation, and entrepreneurship. So marrying those industries and our science and technology, innovation, and sustainability. So there's a sort of like rebranding of the departments, but some of the same areas that students would be interested in, whether it be in science, whether it be in engineering, whether it be in the humanities, in business, in hospitality. We are still covering all of those areas, but just adding that new edge to it that would make our citizenry more viable in this new global climate.
You spoke about a rebranding of sorts, and also I noticed that you have a new logo, I believe it is.
Yes, you know? Definitely.
Yeah. Can you, while you're here, and as you're the Senior Communications Officer, if you could just speak to us about the overall, the new face of Sir Arthur Lewis Community College.
Yes. So the thinking behind the new logo was that we have the namesake of one of the premier economists in the world. Yes, that has not changed, even if he has been dead for so many years. And we thought it was important to leverage that brand. So the change was made to reflect Sir Arthur Lewis, using his image to represent the college, not only in name, but also in visibility. because all around the world, Sir Arthur Lewis is so very well known. And given that we are adopting some of his policies, particularly in the area of making our country more sustainable, we thought it was important to rebrand, to really bring out the importance of naming such an important institution after our first Nobel laureate in economics.
Okay, wonderful. If you just go over the applications being now open, give some more information, reiterate.
Yes. So thank you so very much again. So we encourage all interested persons who want to apply to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College to visit our website, salcc.edu.lc. There will be an application guide that you can reference in order to be able to fill out the application form. For those who have already written CXCs, because we do have adult applicants, you would need to have copies of your certificates available for scanning, because that would be the entry requirement. So that would be important for them to have. And once they put in all of the information, it takes them through the different fields, and that will be lodged with us. So it's really just going online and interfacing. We have several means of communication via the website. You would find a WhatsApp number on there. There is a chat bot associated with the application form where they could ask questions. Because you know sometimes the technology can be a little bit ticklish, and you might miss something. But go in and fill out your application forms, read through the program offerings, because yes, they are new, but read through the program offerings to see exactly what it is that you might be interested in doing, and we will take it from there.
Okay, and for those who have not sat CXC as yet for this year?
Yes, they would still just put in the required information in terms of what subjects they would have been writing, and we will facilitate through the ministry and the secondary schools. So we will be doing some sessions, more sessions, more directly with the secondary schools. They actually have been calling, and we're trying to figure out how to facilitate that. So we even may use this platform to be able to do some more direct sessions, not to give Cooks and Jesse more work, but Ms. Lee has agreed to facilitate maybe some more interaction at a different time, where we can probably have a call-in. We will try to do maybe like a Facebook Live, so we can get answers and field those questions. But we have a plan to be able to reach more of the applicants and guide them through the process.
Any final words?
Just that we are committed to continuing to provide education to the nation, and we will do that by whatever means. So if it is not face-to-face by September, like I said, we've been building up our platforms, so we have the online facility as well. But we want to ensure that people continue with planning their future and with getting the requisite qualifications that they need for that. So Sir Arthur Lewis is here for you.
Mrs. Natalie Fanis, thank you so very much for your time. It was a pleasure sitting with you this morning. Senior Communications Officer at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we have more COVID-19 related updates. Stay tuned.
Cette lisi ka registre vers min corona ek I ka fait mouvement ek an chay vitesse tan chaque canef ka kouye pour vigilance publique là fait wolo parler en place publique qu'on bol en mai base ti boutique changer distance sociale 6 pieds Rodyon à l'autre. I ka travail tan, si ou senti ko pas cordial, quarantine ko, pas en contact et puis l'autre, en cas où te toi pe exposé. C'est un écouye, free 11 ou ben n'importe clinique yo pou. Les pays a dimi à clé, ça veut dire les supermarkets, pharmacies et puis ATM, yo accessible avant c'était souhait. Pays à clé en plein, ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauver vers min corona. Si nous tous servi Jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. Say to be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Thank you so very much for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, a special good morning to you watching on air and online. This is St. Lucia's COVID-19 response report live on NT and from the Information Command Center. My name is Jessie Leonce and I'm joined by Carlton Cyril. We continue providing you with updates this morning. We just heard from the Senior Communications Officer from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College announcing and giving us word that applications are now open and you can make your applications. You can fill out your application online for any of the programs that are now being offered at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. It can be completed online, the application process online. The website is salcc.edu.lc. So there you can make your application. For those of you students who are concerned because we've not gotten any concrete word on a SALCC as yet, your transcript will be used. Your transcript at your secondary school will be used to determine whether or not you are accepted in the interim. So that word there coming from Mrs. Fanis from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College on admissions. Don't sleep. Make sure you make your application, you fill out your application form as soon as possible.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Encore nous a dit merci pour vous écouter. Nous allons continuer par information et développement. Et pour ça, nous bien contents là pour faire éducation. Il y en a ces mots paroles qui a l'idée en chaque monde avec bouche en chaque monde. Là, il vient pour manière secteur éducation a trouvé quoi affecté. Là nous parler by Natalie Fanis, il c'est qui plie expérience là venu pour communication officier communication pour l'école Arthur Lewis au monde un chaimoun te vle savent expressement c'est mamay noir pour qu'ils savent les moi dit c'est mamay noir c'est mamay secondaire qui était supposé faire examination SALCC en chaidio pour qu'on savent qui manière bagay la cahier qu'on qu'ils savent yo ka servi résultat examination SALCC qui a sorti en août. Mais à présent qu'on met moun te ha fait application et moun devle savent question c'est qui ça qui a fait et ben là il parle ban nous qui ban nous en chay information en parmi bagay dit nous c'est ou kay savent là vini pour docteur nurse qui c'est lui qui tête l'école là à présent yo oui visiter ces programmes dans l'école là ka offert. Et là, yon a ti bay la Maze Fanis a dit nous c'est dat qui il est 35 l'année l'école l'emploi et pour raison ça il était nécessaire pas parce qu'il Covid est venu et puis yo même teni pour faire bail plus vite mais yo te ha mettre bagay en place ou kay savent en chay ces bagay là qui a fait là est venu pour technologie à présent c'est sous computer sous web sous internet quoi yo te ha mettre kayo en ordre et puis pour raison ça il dit les Covid vini trouver yo en situation ça en l'état ça date qui yo te ha visiter quoi un chay changement fait. Pour raison ça, yo pour côté ka prend application. Mais il vient avec bonne nouvelle là bon matin pour dire nous, yo ka accepter application en tout département. Quoi pour ni mamay qui ni intention aller l'école attendre l'école là, yo ka dou ça fait application et pour ça fait ça online sous computer via net là et adresse là il bail c'est www.salcc.edu.lc là il doit y toute information expli sur une pièce difficulté là numéro WhatsApp là l'autre numéro pour contacter yo parce que il bien dit yo on mettez application pour faire accommodation pour accepter moun pour aller en l'école là pas maman l'école tout seul ou savent là les moun qui veulent aller plus loin éducation yo ka dit ou tout ça fait application pour ces maman là qui a dit yo pas connait résultat SALCC pour la peine yo pas même faire examination SALCC il a dit yo kay prend en considération résultat yo ni des travail qui déjà fait en ministère en l'école yo quand c'est maman ça yo kay prend ça en considération à pas dit examination et bien qualification yo dans ces bail là yo kay considérer c'est according pour qui l'école secondaire ou quand attendez yo kay prend information ça là bagay yo kay bien content pour tant parmi l'autre bagay yo ha prouver c'est là vini pour agriculture ou kay savent là yo ni des départements côté yo ka offre ces mamay là l'autre bagay aussi moun qui ka prépare un théâtre performance théâtre yo ka bay ça tout et qui bay nouvelle pour ces noces la bonne nouvelle qui ka venir à présent c'est moun ça yo ka ça fait ça yo qui BS yo bachelor yo yo kay offre ça by se nos l'avant yo pas te ka offre quoi qui dit la hani en 7 c'est moun ça qui a ka fait ça l'autre bagay touché vitement c'était logo l'école là ou kay savent yo vie changer logo l'école là quoi il dit ça ka représenter défunt Fanis qui était yon c'est premier Nobel Prize nom qui était gain prix Nobel Prize là et yo ka reflecter quoi monsieur moi ka quoi nouvelle là qui ka sorti en tout nous ka faut savoir à présent ou qui ni maman qui voulait attendre l'école au monde ça Fanis Community College application yo ça fait à présent online à sous computer et yo ban nous yon adresse là encore www.salcc.edu.lc. Bonne nouvelle, l'année pour faire et puis l'école à Fanis. Nous allons continuer pour nous waiter ici et puis nous n'y plus développement, plus information, nous avons un homme qui est en position active, commissioner Daisy qui est ici et puis nous après-midi, aussi plus tard, Tony Kaini, Powell Hot Département Agriculture, quoi. Place là pour toute information, c'est ici à Headquarters COVID-19. Studio GIS. Jesse?
Thank you for that. We do have on cue a news report, but before we get to that, I just want to read the tip of the day, and it's for health workers. Feeling under pressure is a likely experience for you and many of your health workers' colleagues. It is quite normal to feel this way and in this current situation. And just to give the hotline, 311, you can call that number for any form of psychosocial support. Also, you can call the numbers 722-6575 or 518-4157 for any psychosocial support. So the tip of the day there for health workers feeling under pressure is a likely experience for you and many of your health workers' colleagues. It is quite normal to be feeling this way in this current situation. And now, St. Lucia's fight against COVID-19 got a shot in the arm with the donation of test kits from the Cayman Islands. We heard Dr. Wayne Felicia give that announcement earlier this morning, and we will get a report now on the more details on the test kits we received from the Cayman Islands. Take a look.
Representatives from the Ezra Long Laboratory of the Owen King EU Hospital were present to receive the generous gift of test kits from the government of the Cayman Islands, which will provide greater capacity to test for COVID-19. Director of the Ezra Long Lab, Dr. Wayne Felicia, expressed gratitude for the contribution and also highlighted the support the government of St. Lucia provided to the Cayman Islands.
Late last week, we received communication from the Cayman Islands that the testing capabilities were affected by the lack of pipettes, which is integral in the extraction process for testing for COVID-19. We, having pipettes in excess at the moment, were able to offer them about 3 boxes of it. In exchange, they reached out to us and were so grateful that they decided to donate to us 50 test kits, which gave us the capabilities to do 5,000 tests.
Dr. Felicia also expressed hope the test kits will strengthen St. Lucia's capability to expand testing in the communities.
Well, it actually doubles our existing capabilities to test. Prior to that, we had about 7,280 tests available. And with that, it's gone up to about almost 14,000. So that gives us greater capacity to do mass testing, which is something that the Epidemiological Department and Ministry of Health have been trying to task us with.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness appeals to St. Lucians who are feeling unwell with symptoms of a dry cough, fever, sore throat, and shortness of breath to visit any of the 5 respiratory clinics island-wide. St. Lucia has recorded a total of 18 cases of COVID-19, 15 of whom have recovered, and 3 in hospital care. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fanis Neptune.
And that is an awesome demonstration of synergy right there. St. Lucia being able to make a donation to the Cayman Islands, some pipettes, I believe it is. And according to Dr. Felicia, it is integral in the extraction process for the testing of COVID-19. And in turn, expressing gratitude, a show of solidarity overall, we're getting in return for what we've given 50 test kits, which has given us the capability at this point to do some 5,000 tests. So thank you to the government and people of the Cayman Islands. Thank you to Fernell for that news report.
Bon nouvelle tout bonnement encore bon matin ensemble nous ka suivre en ligne qui bon tout bonnement ces nouvelles là qui ka venir là où nous tan date qui lay vini pour pays et Cayman Island la gouvernement ça a fait donation là yo a ban nous 50 kits ces kits ça yo ka servi pour tester pour Covid là ou ka savent 50 kit la yo ban nou se ti boîte là ka fait à peu près une capacité pour faire à peu près 5000 tests quoi là ou ka tan les vini pour faciliter Ezra Long la docteur a dit yo apprécié ça tellement et ça qui bien bon mais c'est là a dit on y pouvait pour voisinage ou ka bien savent il pas trop longtemps cette liste voyez 3 boîtes ba yo ça yo qui Tepex qui c'est yon équipement yo brisé yo même brisé ça pour faire test yo pas teni pièce nous teni cette liste quand yo voyez 3 boîtes ba yo et mi jodi a nous ka ouais même bon chair et quand même nous qu'avait pour yon a l'autre là pour faire 20 minutes nous qu'avait yo ban nous 50 boîtes ces boîtes ça une capacité pour faire 5000 tests pour Covid nous qu'a dit mais c'est ça qui aller loin tout bonnement là nous qu'a dit merci là vini pour assistance ça parce que il qu'a assisté nous tout bonnement pour nous qu'a combattre 20 000 Covid là.
And we're just getting some word there from the Office of the Prime Minister. If I could just read out the press release just received. St. Lucia's Prime Minister chairs meeting at OECS exploring unified solutions and timelines for tourism sector. The OECS has appointed St. Lucia's Prime Minister in its drafting of a plan for recovery of the sector with the economies of the OECS all hard hit and in some cases completely decimated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The member states are looking toward recovery efforts in all sectors. Recognizing that the tourism industry is the major contributor with the linkages to every other economic activity, the governments of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States have included tourism as its priority in recovery plans and actions. The sector falls within the economic cluster of a menu of actions to be taken by member states in addressing health, economic, social and security issues which have arisen as a result of COVID-19. The OECS authority on April 18th appointed the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Shasney to head a committee to strategically plan the reopening mechanism for the tourism sector for the region. St. Lucia's Prime Minister was appointed in light of the ideas and initiatives he has already put forward and given the experience of the Prime Minister with the tourism sector and the challenges the industry has faced in the past. Prime Minister Shasney has explained that chief amidst concerns about the reopening of the tourism sector is maintaining public health and safety. He stated, quote, as more of our states learn how to manage this COVID-19 pandemic and we reconfigure our economies and continue to diversify, we also recognize that tourism underwrites most of our economies and any attempt to reopen must be a coordinated one. The issue of reopening is still very sensitive and our population needs to know that we have a plan that protects all of us, said the Prime Minister. Also, quote, I am a strong advocate of a regional approach. Some experts are predicting that we will see some recovery in the sector during the summer months. Due to the level of interaction involved in this sector, we must ensure we put people first. What we do know is of tourism's proven resilience, and we must have a unified plan to address this together as a region. That word there coming from the Honorable Prime Minister. The committee headed by St. Lucia's Prime Minister will meet on Thursday and will include representatives from other countries named by their heads of government, and they will be charged with the responsibility of arriving at a unified solution and agreeing on timelines. So that word they're coming from the office of the Prime Minister.
Encore, comme on a dit, bonne nouvelle, aujourd'hui, il semble que c'est souligné ça nous ici. Là, on a un annoncement en fait, nous t'avons apporté ici à l'Evini pour ces pays OICS là, et puis Dr. Radix nous t'avons parlé bali, l'Evini pour ces pays OICS là, et puis Premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney, il trouve qu'il a pointé comme moun qui a tête en comité pour yo mettre clarté puis pour yo qui manière yo kay vie ouvert ces pays et yo ni pour venir ensemble pour faire ça. Là où ils savent chaque en ces pays a trouvé qu'on yo affecté. La nouvelle qui yo voyez ban yo cadeau là en compagnie pays où ils savent complètement il détruit industriaux là vini pour les touristes c'est moun ça c'est ça yote ka dépend en lay et nous même ka tomber en bas même par sol là pour la peine ces pays ça yoni premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney c'est lui qui a tête et yon ces bagay là yo kay fait c'est là vini pour identifier qui manière yo kay vie stimuler économie et puis activité et puis gouvernement ces pays ça jaoué là vini pour tourisme ça c'est yon en ses priorité yo kay ni pour considérer secteur ça là vini pour économique parmi l'autre bagay ni pour yo ni pour adresser ensemble et puis santé affaires économiques nous affaires sociales et puis sécurité tout as a result de COVID-19 yo ni pour mettre tout ça en considération. Quand a venu le 18 avril, yo te apprêté Premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney et puis c'est lui qui a tête comité ça yo ni pour faire yo ni pour mettre bagay en place yo ni pour venir suggestion yo ni pour mettre bagay en place pour laisser ti pays ça kay vie ouvert yo kay ni pour dire qui manière pas cette liste tout seul mais vision qui approche yo kay point qui idée yo ni les vini pour expérience là nous-mêmes ka ni à présent kay savent les vini pour expérience premier ministre là les vini pour matière tourisme les inza ici yo nan ces raisons yo apprêté là premier ministre honorable Chasney jaba explanation pour dire lui-même conseil en tout ça qui a passé les vini pour les touristes c'est date qui moun continuer qu'à changer sauveter moun les vini pour santé en département santé là où ils savent parmi tout l'autre bagaille c'est pour manager pandémique COVID là et puis pour vivre ouais qui manière yo kay vie bâti économie et continuer pour moucher qui manière yo kay mettre l'autre lisine pour travail et puis tourisme là où ils savent en matière moun ka mettre en charge attention là c'est les pour vie oui visiter et ouvert département ça parce que c'est yon qui bien sensible et population yo dit qu'on a bien savent nous besoin protecter pour raison ça premier ministre Alan Chasney allé pour dire il c'est yon qui toujours ka advoquer les vini pour approche qui ka prend pas par yon pays mais pour tout le monde vini ensemble déjà yo a dit les vini pour plus tard c'est là nous peut-être qu'il secteur ça a vie ouvert mais il a dit yo ni pour mettre bagay en place yo ni pour faire assurer moun vini premier en ça yo ka faire et puis yo ni pour monter résilience là les vini pour secteur ça pour la peine comité ça ka joindre jeudi et puis premier ministre qu'on nous dit premier ministre Alan Chasney qu'on nous dit il kay représenter parmi l'autre pays yo kay mettre tête yo ensemble yo kay discuter yo kay bay responsabilité et puis solution dans manière yo kay agouer assoy et ben temps yo ouais il kay fait possible quoi bonne nouvelle là nous attend premier ministre nous ici honorable Alan Chasney c'est lui kay tête parmi ces petits pays OICS là et puis yo ni pour un plan je sais parce que sous bien observé manière bagay lan ya kon yo bien dit en commencement document en chay ce type ya perd tout bagay parce que nous ka dépendre en chay là vini pour affaires tourisme.
Absolutely. Just word there coming from the Office of the Prime Minister. If you're just joining us, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States has appointed our Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Shasney, to lead in the drafting of a plan for the recovery, the region's recovery of its tourism sectors. So we look out for the developments on that note. Also, we're getting word that 33 negative tests. We have the last batch of tests that were undertaken by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. All have come back. All 33 have come back negative, and that is great news. We have also received word of the Cayman Islands. Give and it will come back to you. You know, they needed some resources in order to put together their testing kits, their COVID-19 testing kits, and we were able to provide them with pipettes. I think that's the word. That's how you pronounce it. The Dr. Wayne Felicien, the director at the Ezra Long Laboratory, stated that the pipettes were integral in the extraction process for testing of COVID-19. We were able to give them the pipettes, and when they prepared their testing kits, they sent us over 50. They sent us 50 test kits, which has given us now the capability to do 5,000 tests. So thank you very much to the Cayman Islands, the people and government of the Cayman Islands. We hope you can stay tuned. We have a packed schedule for later today. We have the Acting Commissioner of Police, Milton Daisy, to sit with us at midday. So we encourage you to stay tuned for that at 12 p.m. We heard earlier Dr. Gail Rigobert speaking in her capacity as MP for Micoud North. We've seen an increased presence of first responders in Micoud North in the last 24 to 48 hours, and so she just came on to give her assurances and make an appeal to her constituents in that respect. It continues to be St. Lucia's response to COVID-19, and our management were applicable by the authorities in dealing with it. Also for today, we have Tony Nicholas. He will be having an interview with some youth in agriculture. That will be at 1:30 p.m. And of course, if you were listening to us this morning with our interview, we have the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College E-Symposium, and that will be kickstarting from 4 p.m. today. Do stay tuned. We have more updates coming up in just a moment. This is the St. Lucia COVID-19 response report for this morning, the 6th of May, Wednesday. Stay tuned.
These are my new superheroes. That's why they're all wearing masks, doing everything they can to keep everyone in St. Lucia safe. You don't think we know who you are, but we see you every single day. You are my friend's dad, my uncle, my father, my best friend's mom, my aunt, and the guy next door. You are the best of all of us, working together to save the world.
Not all superheroes get to wear capes, but you might have noticed they're all wearing masks. So, be a hero and wear one too. Stay safe, your Digicel family.
I see it. Thank you so much for staying tuned. This morning we have the Honorable Minister Dominic Fede coming into studio in just a moment. But in the meantime, we just want to provide you with some updates. If you're just joining us, if you have just tuned in on air and online or watching and listening through the various mediums, the private sector media listening as well, we would like to welcome you this morning to the St. Lucia COVID-19 response report for this morning. We're giving you some updates, important updates. The breaking news being that the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States has appointed St. Lucia's Prime Minister to lead in the drafting of a plan for the recovery of the member states' tourism sectors. So that word there coming from the Office of the Prime Minister. We've also received word from the Ministry of Health and Wellness that there have been 33 of the 33 tests recently conducted, all came back negative. Also, we heard from the Micoud North MP that just a confirmation of the increased presence of frontliners, of first responders in that constituency, and her imploring her constituents, also ensuring her constituents amid the situation of that increased presence. Of course, it's all part of the continued efforts toward containing and managing COVID-19 on island. So we do hope that not to spread any sort of panic, but we do understand a linkage between the recent case of COVID-19 in St. Lucia with the recent efforts of our frontliners, our first responders. We heard from the Ministry of Health and Wellness also of test kits being donated by the government and people of the Cayman Islands. And we want to thank them very much. Of course, as I always say, given it will come back to you. We were able to give them some supplies to help with them preparing their own test kits, and they in turn made a donation of 50 test kits to us. And we're now able, with the 50 test kits alone, we're able to conduct 5,000 tests for COVID-19 on island. A tip of the day, and it is toward the health workers. Feeling under pressure is a likely experience for you and many of your health workers colleagues. It is quite normal to be feeling this way in the current situation. And for health workers, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling pressed, the number you can call is our hotline, 311. For psychosocial support, you can also contact the number 722-6575 or 518-4157. Again, we do have due in studio the Honorable Minister Dominic Fede. I believe he is on his way. We will be having him sitting down with us in just a moment, giving us some critical updates with respect to COVID-19 and his ministry's efforts. So do stay tuned for that. We know there's so much going on in terms of raising funds for telethon. We know there's also the efforts to get our cruise ship workers repatriated. So hopefully we can get some updates from the Honorable Dominic Fede in just a moment. Carlton?
Et puis là encore, bon matin, nous avons dit merci. Nous, headquarters COVID-19, ici, nous avons information, développement qu'on a pour faire puis COVID. Là, nous commençons puis 6 mois, bon matin, autant côté qui en 33, c'est test yo fait sur monde. Il vit toute négative, bonne nouvelle, toute vie est négative, mais aussi tant même voir les venus pour façade soleil levant, représentative là pour la honorable Gail Rigobert, là qui a assurance là qui dit ces peuple là c'est gens communauté là en Mikoud Nord et qui dit yo pas ni pour toi casser koyo toute bagaille nord yo ni ba en place yo kan suivre protocole mais encourager c'est moun qui a été en commune là pour changer protocole yo même ni pour faire ça yo ni pour faire pour assister c'est tout le monde qui a pris communauté pour combattre vermin quand il vient faire moun changer yo ni pour laver la main yo sort dehors yo ni pour mettre masque chebe distance sociale là si yon nan se bay là qui bien important sou ka senti pièce qualité mal et ben bon ou pas ka senti bon yo ka encourager souple aller en yon dans ces cliniques là où on paye à peu près 5 ça qui plus pour là aller là l'autre annoncement qui sorti hors ces cliniques là nous tant si un mois faire annoncement encore qu'a dit 12 en 18 c'est moun yo identifié positif qui contacté vermin covid là 12 ans c'est moun ça c'est as a résultat dit yo ka lancer clinique là ka identifié yo quoi encouragement ka aller pour dou sou ka senti pièce manière yon manière ban l'autre quoi tout c'est la fièvre là souple trouver qu'on dans clinique parce que clinique là il ka travaille en bon manière monsieur pour ou ça sous pani et pour c'est un peu point précaution. Qu'à continuer nouvelle qui est sortie ici encore. Là nous tenons mademoiselle Natalie Fanis l'école au monde ça a Louis en Chaimama l'école qu'a demandé question qui ça qui a fait yo poko même fait examination SALCC. Quand la question c'est qui ça nous a fait qui manière yo ka ban nous admission pour entrer en collège là il ka bay information pour dire application ouverte à présent à sous online ça y est vous pouvez faire à sous computer il a une adresse www.salcc.edu edu.lc. Là, il dit où ça fait application et que vous prend en considération à pas de qualification ou qu'il y a un examen pour faire examination pour faire pour entrer et puis aussi moun qui peut faire CXC yo prend en considération travail ou déjà fait et que une information ça hod ministère et hod l'école aussi pour n'importe l'autre monde qui veut attendre collège là yo ou peut faire ça on aller à sur website là sur internet là et puis ou ka tout ça ou besoin de sous pas ça ou vle yo mettez limo qui avalib ba ou yon a se ba qui est bien important il fait nous savent parmi ces programmes là yo ka offert là yo ja éprouvé yo a changé bagay yo a bay différents noms et puis autant il mentionné parmi l'autre bagay agriculture moun qui ka fait agriculture c'est moun sa ka hen where that qui yo éprouvé moun qui ka fait théâtre qui département ça et puis c'est nos noir aussi là dans compagnie qui commencé qu'a fait un programme là il dit il bien content yo changer logo yo aussi mais il dit tout ça c'est un effort pour changer whole fidjay là et quand chaque intention il dit yo ka mettre expressement pour monde qui ka apprendre sur internet là bonne nouvelle encore nous ici à Wissouvre à peu près 50 kits. Ce kit ça fait à peu près 5000 tests là il vient pour ça fait Covid là 50 boîtes qui a fait à peu près une capacité à pour faire 5000 tests là venu pour COVID-19 ça sorti pays Cayman Island petit pays Cayman et nous même messieurs dames bien content pour ça yo te brisé yon des boîtes équipement avec nous même assister yo nous tenir assez pour ba yo 3 boîtes pour continuer faire combattre Covid là et mi à présent yo même ka oui tourner faveur yo ban nous 50 petits boîtes c'est 50 petits boîtes ça qu'a fait à peu près 5000 tests qu'on a mis bonne nouvelle tout bonnement dernièrement au Kaitan premier ministre supposé trouver quoi présent dans un meeting jeudi meeting ça là yo apprêté en tête pour vier examiner et puis pour mettre en bail en place mettre en plan pour laisser petit pays OICS là kay vier ouvert et ka oui couvert hot Covid là date que nous ni en plan place pour qui manière nous ka attaquer qui manière yo kay devant qu'on a meeting ça kay point coup jeudi parmi l'autre bagaille nous kay ni acting commissioner police Milton Desika ici après-midi aussi nous kay espérer pour tan hod honorable Dominique Fede il kay ici et puis nous avec plus tard après-midi kay Tony Nicolas et kay Jean Hod agriculture ka parler puis quoi mais c'est information bon matin nous dans chay nous busy ici à tout bonnement mais nous ka quoi ou ka pay attention ka coûter parce que ici à c'est headquarters COVID-19.
Yes, while we're on standby for the Honorable Tourism Minister to make a very important announcement this morning on the efforts to repatriate cruise ship workers to St. Lucia, we just want to remind you viewers that at 12 p.m. we have the Acting Commissioner of Police, Milton Daisy, who will be here. We've been receiving word, a lot of their activity, or law enforcement activity going on out there under the state of emergency. And so we will be getting some information, critical information from him on that. Also, we heard him speak on yesterday at yesterday's donation of the face masks that 2 individuals had been detained and quarantined for their illegal entry into the country, and so we'll be getting some more details on that development. And also, as Tony mentioned, as Carlton mentioned, we have Tony Nicholas later on this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. He will be interviewing some youth in agriculture. And speaking of youth in agriculture, we just had the Arthur Lewis Community College Senior Communications Officer on here talking to us about the new programs of the college. And that includes agriculture, entrepreneurship, as well as the climate smart agriculture programs. So that these 2 programs are new programs of the Arthur Lewis Community College. If you're wondering how you can enroll, perhaps you can, applications are now open for the college, and you can complete your application, your online application process at this following website, so salcc.edu.lc. salcc.edu.lc. So applications are now open for all programs at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and for those of you students who are waiting to sit the CXC examinations, no need to worry, no need to fret. The transcripts, your transcripts from your secondary school will be used to determine your acceptance in the interim. I just want to let you know again, we are on standby for the Minister of Tourism, who will be joining us shortly, Honorable Dominic Fede, and he will be making an important statement, an important announcement on the efforts that are ongoing to repatriate our cruise ship workers. We're going to take a break at this juncture. Do stay tuned.
We got this. Yeah. I feel make it. Ooh. We don't have no other choice but to be strong.
We gonna make it.
What do you mean?
I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and the promise of a bright tomorrow.
And I want you to believe and trust.
I know God is watching over us, and I believe if we all come together now, everything will be alright. If we only press on,
Strength of the bond and the ties among this generation.
unite and be one, the fight will be won.
Come on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances, don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances, don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life, 'cause we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Caribbean people, we got this.
We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. I am the strength within, yeah.
I know that we will rise again, and I'm sure we can lift our people.
It's a fight and we must all be shared. I can't believe this day has come.
For our sake, we must keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor. Islands in the Caribbean sun.
It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
For the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances.
Must come.
Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance.
No stress.
We got this.
promise. Panic is not the answer. We can win this together.
Often use hand sanitizer. Better yet, use soap and water.
We must protect each other if we are to beat this corona.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. Be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
So you don't become the next case. Avoid touching your face. I'm sure you've been told so. Handshakes and hugging are a no.
Advice, give you the please. Cover your mouth and your nose if you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing and avoid large social gatherings.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. St. Lucia, be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
For further information, please contact the hotline at 311 or the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349.
Babies to the elderly, no one's been spared. It's a state of emergency. Everyone is running scared. But like a knight in shining armor, you've been there. We can see a brighter tomorrow because you're here. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring us home. Thanks for working on the front line. Don't know how you cope. Thanks for working on the front line. My angels in disguise. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring tears of joy to my eyes. Firefighters, first responders, putting their lives on the line. All the nurses and doctors, the work you do is so divine. The police traffic officers, sacrificing every day. And all your family members, God protect you all, we pray. To all those who are departed, they gave their lives to serve. For being so kind-hearted, blessings you deserve. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring us home. Thanks for working on the front line. Don't know how you cope. Thanks for working on the front line. My angels in disguise. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring tears of joy to my eyes. So many workers we don't see, all a part of this fight. Like all the cleaners and security who work day and night. Food suppliers and pharmacies who medicate us all. So many more to add to the list who've responded to the call. There's no greater love than God's love in this land. Yes, He's watching us from up above. He's your biggest fan. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring us home. Thanks for working on the front line. Don't know how you cope. Thanks for working on the front line. My angels in disguise. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring tears of joy to my eyes. Thanks for working on the front line. You bring us home. Thanks for working on the front line. Don't know how you cope. Thanks for
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gassa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Set lisi ka registre ve min corona ek I ka fe mouvment ek an chay vites tan chak kanef ka kouye pou vilijans publik la fe wolo pale en place publik kon bolanme baz ti boutique changer distance sociale 6 pieds Rodyon alot, I ka travay tan, si ou santi kou pa cordial, quarantine kou, pas twe kontak epi lot, an ka ou te twape expose. Si an ekouye, free 11 ou ben nepot klinik yo pou yo. Le peyi a dimi akle, sa vle di, le supermarket, pharmacie epi ATM, yo aksesab avan se tet swe. Pays à clé en plein, ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauve vers mine corona. Si nous tous servi Jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. Say Lucia be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Because of how quickly the coronavirus spreads, each new case calls for increased public vigilance. Know what is happening, understand why, and comply. Think of the protocols as war tactics. Personal protection tactics. Keep 6 feet away from others. Avoid riding the bus, gathering on beaches, in bars, and shops. Public protection tactics. Quarantine yourself if you feel fluish in case you have been exposed. Call 311 or a respiratory clinic for advice. Country tactics, partial lockdown. Supermarkets, small grocers, pharmacies, and ATMs are accessible before curfew. Total lockdown. Everywhere stays closed 24/7 for a stipulated period. Team tactics. Don't only follow the protocols, be a protocols police. Let's win this.
Together let us win this war. Say Lucia be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
We got this. Yeah. I have to make it. Ooh. We don't have no other choice but to be strong.
We're gonna make it.
What do you mean? What God?
I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and the promise of a bright tomorrow.
And I want you to believe and trust.
I know God is watching over us, and
I believe if we all come together now,
everything will be alright.
got this. I am the strength within, yeah,
I know that we will rise again, and I'm sure we can lift on people.
It's a fight and we must all be shared. I can't believe this day has come.
For our sake, we must keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor. Islands in the Caribbean sun.
It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
For the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the nightmares. Together we will take our chance at life and don't worry about the circumstances. Most come. Don't stress about the fears and the nightmares. Together we will take our chance. No stress. We got this. We got this. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. Yeah, we got this.
Hear me? Rough it tough, the dirty enough, still have to get up. One for me now, the giddy and we have to stand up. As virus a rush, we still can't touch, we still can't crush we. We have faith, hope, strength, protection of the Almighty.
And we prayed up, yes, yes, we prayed up. And we stayed up, yes, yes, we stayed up. Head high full of confidence, we not give back it, tell them we never gave up. Big up essential workers, rest in peace, we fallen soldiers. Corona can't conquer, we West Indies, one love and unity.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life. We got this. We got this. We got
We got this.
These are my new superheroes. That's why they're all wearing masks. Doing everything they can to keep everyone in St. Lucia safe. You don't think we know who you are, but we see you every single day. You are my friend's dad, my uncle, my father, my best friend's mom, my aunt, and the guy next door. You are the best of all of us, working together to save the world.
Not all superheroes get to wear capes, but you might have noticed they're all wearing masks. So, be a hero and wear one too. Stay safe, your Digicel family.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash, wash, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Cette lisi ka registre ve min corona ek I ka fe mouvement ek an chay vites tan chaque kanef ka kouye pour vigilance publique la fe wolo parler en place publique kon bolanme base ti boutique changer distance sociale 6 pieds hod yon a lot I ka travay tan si ou senti ko pa cordial quarantine ko pas en contact et puis l'autre en cas où te pe exposé c'est un écouye free 11 ou ben n'importe clinique yo pou les pays a dimi à clé ça veut dire les supermarkets pharmacie et puis ATM yo accessible avant c'était souhait pays à clé en plein ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauver vers min corona. Si nous tous servi jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. Said we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gassa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We at war with a virus, ready to harm us. Panic is not the answer. We can win this together.
Often use hand sanitizer. Better yet, use soap and water.
We must protect each other if we are to beat this corona.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. Be a soldier, together we can beat this corona.
So you don't become the next case. Avoid touching your face. I'm sure you've been told so. Handshakes and hugging are up. No, no.
Advice is you the please. Cover your mouth and your nose if you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing and avoid large social gatherings.
Together let us win this war. Be a soldier for St. Lucia. Together let us win this war. St. Lucia, be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
For further information, please contact the hotline at 311 or the Bureau of Health Education at 468-5349.
Thank you so very much for staying tuned. We have been waiting on the much anticipated interview from the Minister, the Honorable Dominic Fede, Minister for Tourism, Information Broadcasting, Culture and the Creative Industries. We will be joined shortly by the External Affairs Minister, the Honorable Sarah Flood Bobra in just a moment, but in the meantime, we will be speaking to the Honorable Minister Fede on the reopening of the tourism sector, among other important updates within his ministry. As promised, we have the update on efforts to repatriate cruise line workers to St. Lucia coming up in just a moment. We want you to stay tuned for that development. We are awaiting Minister Flood Bobra to be able to give you a comprehensive report on that special announcement to be made by the two honorable ministers. Meantime, good afternoon, good morning, Minister Fede.
Morning. Thanks, Jesse and Cokes. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. And let me say good morning to your viewers and your listeners via radio as well.
Thank you very much for that. The breaking news this morning is that our Honorable Prime Minister has been appointed to lead the charge in drafting a plan for the recovery of the tourism sector. Can you speak to what it will take? Give us some insight as a tourism minister in terms of the resuscitation of this sector.
Well, I think he's the right man for the job. He's got significant tourism experience working at Air Jamaica, working as the Director of Tourism for St. Lucia. He is also an outstanding Minister of Tourism and Chair of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. So, I mean, cumulatively, he's the most qualified individual to do this job. He was appointed by the OECS commissioners as well. And I think the meeting yesterday with the CARICOM heads of governments would have expanded his role to look at the opening of the mainstay of the Caribbean. You would know that the Caribbean is the most tourism dependent region in the entire world. In cases, some of our countries depend on tourism for about 90% of their GDP, meaning that every dollar they make, about 90 cents of that is made from tourism. And so it is a very important job because effectively the Prime Minister of St. Lucia is going to oversee the recovery of the Caribbean's economy. This is what this means actually, because of the significant role that tourism plays. So tomorrow we have an OECS/CARICOM meeting. It's an initiative by the OECS Secretariat, but as well we have extended the invitation to non-OECS members in the wider CARICOM region. So the discussions tomorrow will look at what are the new operations, what are the new elevated list of protocols that the industry within the Caribbean will have to confront. And those protocols will exist from testing people before they go on an airline, albeit it will be a rapid test. Airlines will have already indicated that passengers will now have to wear masks during the entire flight. Flight attendants are going to be required to wear masks as well. You're going to have a situation whereby there'll be no seating in the center seat except for when families are traveling together. You will also have a situation once they get to the airport, there will be facilities at the Uranora International Airport to test everyone that comes through for their temperature levels, so that if there's anything that resembles a fever, that individual will be pulled out of the line. There will be a scenario whereby hotels are going to have the same equipment to be able to test and to be able to monitor guests for symptoms that are related to COVID. The medical stations at the various resorts on island will have to be elevated in terms of their capacity, and the government as well will have to invest in our testing capabilities at our lab to ensure that there is a very smooth transition and a collaborative approach between airline, hotel, attractions, and at every single level of the tourism value chain.
Okay. Experts are saying that even the modest of projections that are being made are optimistic at best, and if we look at the reality of things in terms of tourism, the tourism sector, we've seen the devastation of the various industries, aviation and so on. Can you give us the implications of post-COVID-19 tourism sector?
Well, I think the Caribbean is looking at a phased approach, and we're in no way looking to get back to numbers immediately that were pre-COVID. I don't think that anyone have that dream or is of that illusion. What we do know is that we have to begin the process of reopening our countries, reopening our economies. The member countries of CARICOM, they're all in a situation of flux, of economic flux. The fiscal situation is dire. So the St. Lucia problem that has been reported by our Minister of Finance and the Honorable Prime Minister is one that really afflicts the entire Caribbean. Our debt to GDP ratios are high, the deficit to GDP ratios are high, and we just can't go through a very long period of not having monies coming into our treasury. If we do that, then our countries will be effectively rendered bankrupt. There are very, very, very little sympathies for small countries at this time as it relates to international help, as it relates to any country coming to bail you out. And so it is now all of us are with our destinies in our respective hands to ensure that we take the bull by the horns and to recover our economies.
Okay, at this point, we're just going to take a break. We have the Honorable Minister Sarah Flood-Bober, External Affairs Minister, joining us after, on the other end of the break, to give us, of course, the much-anticipated update on efforts to repatriate cruise line workers to St. Lucia. Stay tuned for that update and more. Stay tuned.
We got this. Yeah. I have to make it. We don't have no other choice but to be strong.
We're gonna make it.
I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and the promise of a bright tomorrow.
And I want you to believe and trust.
I know God is watching over us, and
I believe if we all come together now,
everything will be alright.
if we only press on.
Strengthen the bond and the ties among this generation.
Unite and be one, the fight will be won.
Come on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer this. Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life. 'Cause we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Caribbean people, we got this.
We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. I am the strength within, yeah.
I know that we will rise again, and I'm sure we can lift our people.
It's a fight and we must all be shared. I can't believe this day has come.
For our sake, we must keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor.
Islands in the Caribbean sun.
It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
For the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean.
Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances.
Must come.
Don't stress about the fears and the madness. Together we will take our chance.
No stress.
We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this.
Hear me? Rough it tough, the dirty enough, still have to get up. One for me now, the giddy and we have to stand up. As virus a rush, we still can't touch, we still can't crush we. We are being hope, strength, protection, and the
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We have been waiting patiently this morning for the arrival of the two important ministers with responsible and taking care of the efforts to repatriate cruise line workers to St. Lucia. We have in studio right now, as you would have known, the Honorable Minister Dominic Fede, responsible for tourism, information, broadcasting, culture, and the creative industries. And joining us now, we have the Honorable Minister Sarah Flood Bobra. She's the Minister with responsibility for external affairs. Pleasant good morning to you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you. Good morning, viewers. And I wish again to thank everyone, to thank all of you for the patience and for the level of cooperation that has been exhibited through this very big challenge that we are facing as a country. And of course, you would know that we have had a number of St. Lucians out there on the high seas, not having been able to come back home. You will recall that we had, in fact, facilitated the repatriation of 8 or 9 of our citizens sometime late last month. But we are now able to give you an update on our efforts. Our government has been working very hard. The Ministry of External Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Authority, and other agencies, the Ministry of Health, of course, has been working very hard to repatriate all of our cruise workers who have been out there on the high seas. And today we are very pleased that we are in a position to say that we have a total number of 219 cruise ship workers who are now making their way to St. Lucia. They're on Carnival Cruise Lines, Carnival Glory, and we are expecting that these 219 St. Lucians will arrive here in St. Lucia on May 8th, on the evening of May 8th. So we are very pleased to provide this update. I'm sure families out there will be very, very relieved to hear that. So we just want you to know that, by the grace of God, of course. Yes. We work hard, but it is God who does all these things. So we thank Him and we ask Him to continue to watch over our citizens to ensure that we are expecting them on May 8th and they will arrive here on May 8th. If I may just hand you over to the Minister of Tourism. As you know, the Ministry of Tourism has been working very hard, hand in hand with the Ministry of External Affairs, to ensure that this is possible as we continue to work to repatriate all of our citizens who are out there on cruises. So over to you, Minister.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Minister. We will be working along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who have been doing an excellent job, Minister, you and your team, Ambassador Anton Edmonds, and also Tassa Jha at the Miami Consulate, working with our team to ensure that we, along with the Ministry of Health, in a cohesive manner, bring our people home. Our government has applied a lot of pressure on the cruise industry to ensure that the wait of our nationals would not be for much longer. And so, as the Minister has indicated, I want to thank all of you families that have been so patient with us because of the fact that for many weeks your children have been contacting you, letting you know that they were stuck overseas. So I'm very happy that this breakthrough has happened. There were a total of 505 St. Lucians who were away, and this is really a big opportunity for us to be able to move some 219 coming on Friday. We are going to have another batch in 2 weeks' time, but we had to delay the arrival because of the fact that we don't have sufficient quarantine space to do 500 at a time. All of these individuals that are coming from COVID hotspots, they were coming from the South Florida area in the United States. And so before we send them back safely to you, we want to just make sure that they are monitored for the 2-week period by the Ministry of Health officials to be able to ensure that they have no evidence of COVID-19. So I think that we are extremely thrilled to be making this announcement today. So individuals on Norwegian cruise lines, Disney cruise lines, Royal Caribbean cruise lines, those individuals are
anticipated sometime around the 25th of May, Madam Minister.
Yes. Dominic, if I may just, we don't normally do that. We don't normally publicly thank our colleagues, but I do want to thank you for the passion, for the commitment, and for the care and concern that you showed for our citizens out there. I mean, we know how inundated we were as members of parliament, of families calling, of mothers crying and say, my son's out there, my daughter's out there, or husbands or wives or children saying, my dad's out there, when are they coming home? And you know how much we spoke to the Prime Minister about really us wanting to see our workers come home as quickly as possible, and how supportive he has been on that. And so it is a really happy day for us.
Really
and I want to
day.
thank you as a minister
Really
for your commitment and concern. We know that the families out there want to see their loved ones. You want to embrace, you want to hug, but we want to make sure it's safe for you to do that. And for that reason, and of course the Ministry of Health at some point will be given full details of that. But just to remind you that when your loved ones do disembark, there will be an immediate 14-day quarantine. So that is for their own health and for the health of our country, so that we can remain a safe place for your family members to come back to. So I'm sure the Ministry of Health will be given full details of that. But just again, to thank you for your understanding, for your cooperation. We did give our commitment on many occasions when we were interviewed. We gave our commitment and we said that we wanted to see your families home, because they are our families too. And so we just we had indicated that we would have been prioritizing cruise ship workers naturally, because they were out there on the high seas. They were out there in vessels, and we had, as the minister indicated, 505 of those on a number of vessels.
Yes.
How many vessels, Minister? In all?
About 10 in
About
total.
10 vessels. So there had to be a lot of logistical arrangements to ensure that all those persons could find themselves on one vessel to be repatriated here, bearing in mind the border issues, the issues with CDC. Everything had to come together to make sure this was done in a practicable, expeditious, and above all, safe manner. So thanks go to a lot of people on the ground, a lot of people. And certainly you mentioned Ambassador Anton Edmonds, who oversees our Miami office, and Consul General Tassa Jean, your own Beverly at the Tourism Authority.
Strength, yes.
Absolutely, and so many other persons. Now, a lot of people who are saying, but what about my son or daughter who is out there, not on a cruise ship, but out there nonetheless, who wants to come home? As you know, that our borders are not yet opened, and of course we are guided by the Chief Medical Officer in terms of everything we do to continue to keep St. Lucia safe. You would appreciate, though, that we had to absolutely prioritize those who were stuck on vessels on the high seas. So once we've been able to do that, of course, the process of evaluation, the command center is working really hard day in, day out, and we're evaluating every day. And once it is safe to do so, once the Chief Medical Officer says that, I am sure that would be the next priority of our government.
Absolutely, Madam Minister, and I think it's a good opportunity, if you will allow us some more time, Jesse, just to let the public know that the ship is going to be here on Friday. We are not opening cruise tourism, so please don't panic. What we are doing is simply allowing only St. Lucians to get off. The boat is going from island to island, and it will be making its stop in St. Lucia on Friday. So when you see the ships in the harbor, just know, don't listen to any fake news, no voice notes, no social media. The official announcement is these are our cruise ship workers that we're bringing home. So I just wanted to make that clear, because during this COVID fight, we've seen a lot of misinformation, and I just hope our voices can go as far as possible to ensure that we get the right information to people and we reduce the level of panic.
Thanks for that preemptive word there. Can you also speak on the protocols that will be put in place, so certainly to prevent anybody from entering the port, where the persons will be screened and so on as the cruise line workers disembark?
Well, certainly every single individual who should disembark the ship, their passport information and their names were sent to the CMO, who has then had to approve, and it is based on their St. Lucian nationality. And we've been working very closely with the Ministry of External Affairs to coordinate that process.
Okay. Any final words in terms of the...
Madam Minister, the final words for you.
Yes, well, I can smile. I am really happy that we can really see our St. Lucians coming back home. And I have to say that some of them have been on these ships quarantined within the ship itself. So they've been really champions. They've been very courageous, you know. We did have the calls for help, but people have been understanding and cooperative. And I just want to say how proud I am of our people and how happy I am that they will soon be reunited with their families. And I want to thank St. Lucians again for the support that you have given your government as we work together with you to achieve all of this. The frontline workers now who will be having to manage and support the 219 persons who are coming back. We want to thank them because, of course, we know the nurses, the doctors, the social workers, the emergency response teams, the frontline workers who have to deal with everyday support persons who may be anxious, who may be depressed, who may be frightened, who may be just tired of having to undergo all of this. And so it has been a collaborative effort, and my final words need to be words of thanks. So thank you very much.
Thank you. The second batch to come in, if you could just give us information on that again.
That is somewhere on the 25th of May, and that is because our quarantine space at the moment is somewhere in the region of about 300 hotel rooms that we're presently using across 5 different hotels. But we have to ensure that we also leave quarantine space because we're doing a mass testing exercise on the ground by the Ministry of Health. Okay. So we're leaving about 40 rooms to ensure that if we find any individual that would require to be isolated
within the communities,
within the
locally.
communities, yeah. So it's 2 things happening at once: the people coming from overseas, and then as well individuals from the communities.
Okay, Minister Flood-Barbara, if you could just speak to, before we close, you know, the grim picture that we're seeing being painted abroad, and many St. Lucians getting caught up in this, succumbing to COVID-19. Can you speak on the significance of this situation abroad?
Yes, well, I mean, the world has been taken by a massive storm, something that honestly leaves us in bewilderment. And of course, we all have televisions at home, and we see the magnitude of what this is, how devastating it is, how mind-boggling, really, because science is still trying to understand this. And so it's as though we are in a whirlwind. It is as though, but as we have demonstrated, and some of the countries have demonstrated, if we take the right measures, we can rise up to this challenge. And that's what we have been doing with the cooperation of friendly governments. We've had a lot of support, and at some point I would like to come back here just to apprise St. Lucians of how much we've been supported by friendly governments and agencies. We haven't done this alone at all. It has been a massive collaborative effort. And of course, my heart goes out to St. Lucians who have sat home, known that their loved ones have been